Americans are going through an identity crisis right now, and there's a lot of misinformation on the internet about who we truly are. Let's talk about it, shall we? My name is Brother Legend, and I'm here to raise your consciousness. In all my years in the black community, I have never been to a cookout where somebody was making a teepee in a campfire. And yet, for some reason, in the past 4 years, I have seen more and more black people in America say that they are native, indigenous, or aboriginal to America. And they use two justifications for this. One is that black people were here before Columbus, which really makes no sense to me because even when they get their DNA results back, it'll say you have a little bit of Native American in them, but I have not seen one person black as me or blacker show their DNA results, and it says that they are 100% Native American. I mean, the whole reason you're saying you're not African is because you're saying that you didn't come here through the transatlantic slave trade. So then why do you have African DNA? The second thing that doesn't make sense to me that I hear pretty often is when they say that you've never seen a slave ships don't exist. And my question to that is, how do you think white people got here? Can anyone find the Mayflower or the Santa Maria? Like, how far are we willing to go into denying our own history just to avoid acknowledging our painful past? Are we going to deny other people's history too? Oh, but they don't want us to know who we truly are. That's why they keep it hidden. Then why is it that every pretendian is alive and well, but the scholars that taught us we were African are the ones that got unalived or silenced by the U.S. government? Make it make sense.
Africans do not want black people in America to call themselves African American. They never did. They do not associate with you like that. They don't bang with you like that. I remember one time I was in an Uber and an African man, I can't remember what country he came from. He said, "Why do you allow them all to call y'all African American? You're not African." A man from the continent told me that. And ever since then, this was years ago. But even before that, I always identified, with my American roots. Like, I call myself melanin rich. I don't even really like the term black, but I understand it's a social construct. I get it. It's cultural. I get it. So this man is basically saying we don't deserve to call ourselves African American because we don't stand up for Africans. We don't help them. We're not building up the continent. And then he went into talking about the Zulu parade and that took place in New Orleans. First of all, I don't think that they understand that there's like subsets of like different ethnicities within a Black American culture because they don't understand that each state is like a country. Like people can't conceive of that. So what's going on in New Orleans has absolutely nothing to do with a black person in Harlem, has absolutely nothing to do with a black person in Inglewood. We literally we're the same. We have a commonality, but we have different, style. It's so beautiful to see. And they don't stop identifying yourself as African American. That's all I got to say. I mean, do what you want, but they clearly know who's who. They've always told you that you're not one of them. And I always pose the question, how many generations does it take for you to be from a certain place? For you to have roots in a place? If we want to go by the indoctrinated version of history, how long does your family, does your lineage have to reside in a country, a continent, to be from there? How long? Baby, you American. We're melanin. Spread love is the Brooklyn way.
Black Americans have said they shouldn't be addressed as African Americans. That's not too much to ask. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for sticking with us. If you're new here, this is a space for real conversations about real situations. Hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss a video. Today, we are diving into a conversation that has been getting louder online and across social media. The growing debate between some Black Americans and African immigrants about identity, culture, and respect. Now, before we begin, let me make something very clear. This channel is about discussion, perspective, and understanding, not attacking anyone. There are millions of people in both communities with different opinions and experiences. What we are talking about today are the conversations that have been trending online and the reactions people are having to them. Over the past years, a lot of discussions have surfaced around identity. Who gets to define it, who represents it, and how history shapes the way people see themselves. Some Black Americans feel that their historical experience in the United States is often misunderstood or minimized. On the other hand, many African immigrants feel proud of their heritage and sometimes express their pride very strongly. When those perspectives collide online, things can quickly turn heated. Today's video looks at some reactions from Black Americans responding to statements that some people have interpreted as dismissive or arrogant regarding identity and cultural experience. The goal here is not to divide people, but to understand why these reactions happen and what both sides are actually saying. Because at the end of the day, identity is complex. History matters, culture matters as well. And how people talk about these issues can shape how communities relate to each other moving forward. So, in this video, we're going to look at a few clips, reactions, and perspectives that have been circulating online and then break down why this conversation is sparking such strong responses. Let's get into it.
Why do black Americans say they're not African when they clearly are? Tell me, how are we African? Tell me, what makes me African? My family not born in Africa. My great grandmother not from Africa. My great great grandparents not from Africa. Nobody in my family is from Africa that I can trace 300 to 400 years. Nobody. We keep records of who we are here in America. Tell me, how am I African? Now listen, I'm gonna give you this. And I'm a thinking person, right? I look at things from both sides. And I do the comparison game. I look at Canada. I look at certain parts of South America. I look at all of the Caribbean islands. I look at Haiti. I look at the Dominican Republic. I look at the UK. I look at Australia. I look at all these places where there's mostly melanated black people at. And I can see African in them. I can see how they can be African. I can see why they might look at themselves as African, because they carry the African ways. I'm just being straight up. They do. They carry them African ways. Me as a black American, there's nothing African about me. Culturally, spiritually, ancestor-wise, none of that. There's nothing about me and a lot of people like myself that's African. And I'm going to go a step further. This African theory thing, I'm done with it. I do not believe in this Africa that we all come from Africa now. I'm starting to lean towards what my brothers and sisters, my indigenous Indians, my black natives, the people that are aborigines on this land, I'm starting to lean towards them, what they say about this African theory thing. And I'm done with saying that we all come from Africa, and we do not. We don't think like y'all. We don't move like y'all. We're more innovative. You get what I'm saying? Like, we create things constantly. We're more progressive than the majority of the people around the world, yo. I'm just being straight up. How we think, how we live, how we move. Things that we have been through. The stuff that we've been through in America, and by us being the belly of the beast with the white man, no group in the world could overcome that. None. I see how things will happen to y'all countries when the white folks don't even really be there. They just have a puppet over there to do y'all dirty. And I just see how y'all can't recover. We dealt with the devil on our own, and we still resilient. We so resilient. People, white people, yo people, all groups of people got to use the bottom 5 to 10% of black Americans that do nigga shit. That's how great we are. Y'all gotta go to the negative of us. Cause y'all know, if y'all go to the positive of black Americans, we'll run past y'all like Sakara Richardson in the Olympic trials, bro. So we're not in y'all, bro. Talk to the Caribbeans about being African, okay? Talk to the South Americans that are black about being African. Talk to the UK people about how they African. Don't talk to us about being African.
It is kind of jacked up to find out that, people around the globe thought that African Americans were immigrants. That's pretty jacked up. Like, all this time y'all thought we were immigrants? I don't understand even why people would think that, because here you have the whole Caribbean, the whole South America, and then we have North America right here. And you would think that, okay, yeah, I mean, everybody else is cool. You know what I'm saying? Jamaicans are Jamaicans, Haitians are Haitians, you know what I'm saying? Why on earth would people think that we are immigrants when We got over here before the founding of the country. Why in the world would people think that we're immigrants? African Americans, I mean.
Alright, so after watching those clips and reactions, it's clear that this conversation about identity, culture, and respect is far from simple. For many Black Americans, their identity is deeply connected to a long history in the United States, including struggles for civil rights, equality, and recognition. That history shapes how many people feel when the topic of identity comes up. At the same time, African immigrants often bring their own strong sense of heritage, national identity, and cultural pride. For many of them, representing where they come from is extremely important. When these two perspectives meet online, misunderstandings can easily happen, especially on social media, where short clips and heated debates often replace deeper conversations. What's important is recognizing that both communities have complex histories and valid experiences, and reducing those experiences to insults or stereotypes only creates more division. Do you think these debates are mostly misunderstandings, or do you think there are deeper issues that need to be talked about? Let me know your perspective in the comment section, but remember to keep the conversation respectful. If you value conversations that go deeper than headlines, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on your notifications so you don't miss future discussions that challenge perspectives. This channel exists because of you, and conversations like this matter because you engage. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay compassionate, and most importantly, stay active in the dialogue. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.